I'm Matt Donnelly of RotoBaller.com, and I'm here to help you navigate the fantasy wasteland that is the tight end position. Every year, a tight end rises from the ashes, and from the ashes, we have a breakout. Remember Austin Hooper? Remember Robert Tonyan? With that in mind, here are 5 tight ends ready to break out in 2023. The first tight end that comes to mind is Juwan Johnson of the New Orleans Saints, who is coming off the board as the tight end 21, despite finishing as a top 10 fantasy tight end just a season ago. Derek Carr, he loves himself a good tight end. He loves to spread the ball around. And 2 seasons ago, both Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller each saw at least 90 targets. Now, Johnson, he's not going to see 90 targets, especially if Michael Thomas remains healthy, but he should see a few more than the 65 in which he had last season. So if Johnson is getting more opportunities, then shouldn't his fantasy value be going up, not down like his current ADP reflects? Just some food for thought. Now, fun fact, the converted wide receiver finished 9th in missed tackles forced per reception last season. If Johnson is to see that uptick in target thanks to Carr, then forcing missed tackles will lead to more yards, thus more fantasy points. Coming up a season in which he had 7 touchdowns from Andy Dalton, yes, that Andy Dalton, Johnson is going to once again be a force when the Saints go marching down into the red zone once again. Besides Kyle Pitts, no tight end had a lower percentage of catchable targets than the Broncos' Greg Dulcich's 72.5%. If you believe that Sean Payton can come into Denver and fix this Broncos offense, then we should start seeing these stats filling up for Dolce in 2023. We also saw flashes that Dolce could in fact be a top 12 fantasy tight end. We saw it happen in 5 of 10 contests in PPR that he did that. In fact, he even had 3 straight contests from week 6 through 8 that he was one of the best tight ends in the game. And it certainly helps when you're getting 58% of your snaps coming out of the slot. Now looking at the position, Dolce, he would finish 3rd in average depth of target at 12.7 and 7th in target separation at 2.36. He is currently coming off the board as tight end 16, which seems like the perfect storm to go from tight end outhouse to the tight end penthouse. If you think that Derek Carr loves tight ends, then check out Dak Prescott. Over the last 4 seasons, Prescott has tossed 28 touchdowns to his tight ends. That's about 7 touchdowns per season. In fact, over the last 2 seasons, Prescott holds the 2nd most passing touchdowns to tight ends. And in 2023, Jake Ferguson, he looks to benefit from all those vacated targets left behind from Dalton Schultz's past offseason. Now listen, that's 5.9 targets per game. Prescott, when asked about Ferguson, I think he's close to becoming a big-time guy. As far as a playmaker, he's already there. And you can see why. Looking at a small sample size that Ferguson managed to compile last season, we see a tight end that averaged 2.05 yards per route run while forcing 0.32 missed tackles per reception. Both those would rank inside the top 5 respectively amongst his peers. If you are looking for a tight end that's about to get paid, head to Cincinnati. I mean, historically, the last few seasons, this has worked out. See CJ Uzomah, see Hayden Hurst. They've earned big paydays playing with Joe Burrow. Now, this year is the time to draft Irv Smith Jr. I swear, it's going to pay off this year. It has to pay off. I mean, my sanity is riding on this. If you missed out on a top tight end early, you could do worse than Irv Smith Jr., who we have all been touting as a top breakout candidate each of the last 3 seasons. The talent has always been there. Unfortunately, so too have the injuries. Heading into 2023, the expectations are lower than ever for the 25-year-old with an ADP of tight end 19, who once again finds himself in an elite offense. An offense that even had Hayden Hurst come out of there with 52 receptions for 414 yards and a pair of scores. Now that's saying something. I would also like to think that Irv Smith Jr. is a superior athlete compared to Hayden Hurst and even CJ Uzomah, so I'm willing to bet that Irv Smith Jr. is going to have even a bigger season than we've seen from the previous tight ends in the Cincinnati Bengals offense. When looking at breakout tight ends, historically you are looking for a guy that happens to be going from year 1 into year 2. Well, Jelani Woods, he's that guy this season. 50% of fantasy breakout tight ends at the tight end position, they occur in that 2nd season. And Woods, he is entering the 2nd season with a rookie quarterback. We know that rookies love the security of their tight ends. as they transition to the pro game. And with Anthony Richardson's ability to move the pocket, that bodes well for Woods. Woods is an athletic freak of nature. And if Richardson and Woods decide they're going to go out there and start playing some playground ball, look out. We are talking about a 6'7", 265-pound tight end that runs a 4.6 40 with a catch radius in the 98th percentile. Even if Richardson is a little bit off target, he's still going to be on target. With a mobile quarterback and a running back of Jonathan Taylor's caliber, the Colts could run plenty of play action, and that should hold the linebackers just long enough to allow Woods to attack the seams. Now, as I sit here and I hype up Jelani Woods, buyer beware, keep an eye on that injury report. He has been dealing with some hamstring issues much of camp, but with an ADP of tight end 32, the reward easily outweighs any kind of risk. Again, here are the top 5 breakout tight ends for 2023. Juwan Johnson, Saints offense approves undercard, who also happens to utilize his tight ends more than most. Greg Dolce was on the verge of breaking out as a rookie until injuries put a temporary stop on that. Jake Ferguson, Dak Prescott, has thrown the second most touchdowns to tight ends over the last 2 seasons, and Dalton Schultz's departure means plenty of vacated targets are available. Irv Smith Jr., if not now, then when? In an elite offense that has some success from multiple tight ends over the last couple seasons, now is the time. And finally, Jelani Woods, boom or bust, but tight end 32, there is no risk to his untapped upside. Now be sure to like and subscribe to our RotoBaller YouTube channel for lots more fantasy analysis.